Star Trek Picard just launched on CBS All Access, and we've spent some quality time aboard the first season. If you're wondering how this new series stacks up to previous entries in the franchise, here's our spoiler-free review. Picard boldly goes where no other Star Trek series has gone before, skipping the traditional format of introducing a new ship and its crew. Instead, we meet the now-retired Admiral at his family's vineyard in France. As expected, Picard is dragged out of these peaceful golden years for one last mission, spurred on by a distressed woman named Daj, played by Issa Briones. In later episodes, he'll team up with a new crew, but don't expect it to feel like the USS Enterprise. Even in this era of nostalgia-fueled reboots, it's hard to believe Picard is back, but you could never launch a show like The Next Generation in 2020. A season of TNG featured 26 standalone stories, limited long-term character development, and very tight budgets. The tone also varied wildly from absurd comedy to intense moral debates. So, how do you embrace TNG's legacy and also appeal to modern audiences without becoming the dreaded gritty reboot? Star Trek Discovery had some trouble with this issue, skewing too grim in its complicated first season. Picard solves it by offering a clear, streamlined concept from the start. After 2 decades of Star Trek aiming its gaze into the past with Enterprise, Discovery, and the J.J. Abrams movies, Picard is a really welcome step into the future. The Borg and the Romulans play key roles in a political thriller with deep emotional resonance for Picard and for long-term Star Trek fans. Set 20 years after the final TNG film, we learn that Picard's retirement was not a happy one. He left because Starfleet botched the rescue effort when the planet Romulus was destroyed, prioritising human lives elsewhere. The disillusioned Admiral retreated to his family chateau, where he lives with 2 Romulan refugees played by Jamie McShane and Orla Brady. These crucial characters flesh out our view of Romulans, an alien race that was first introduced in the 1960s. Cold Wars between the Romulans and the Federation are a long-running theme, with Picard playing a diplomatic role during key episodes of TNG. Patrick Stewart describes Picard as a reaction to the era of Trump and Brexit, and that's already very clear from the first 3 episodes I watched for this review. Picard is a lone voice of compassion in a supposedly inclusive culture that turned its back on refugees. Starfleet's empathy and intellectual curiosity have shriveled up under a cloud of fear and bigotry, leaving Picard behind as a relic of a bygone era. This all may sound like kind of a downer, but the show actually feels more optimistic than Discovery. Picard is still very much Picard, a moral touchstone and a loyal friend, willing to risk anything to help those in need. Naturally, Patrick Stewart is wonderful. He's one of the greatest actors of his generation, and he's made Picard shine through far less impressive material in the past. Both Stewart and the show's writers put serious thought into where Picard would be at this point in his life, and how to include other classic characters without resorting to cheap cameos. Unlike some other franchise revivals, old friends only return when it's relevant to the plot. Dream sequences about Data are crucial because his death had such an impact in Star Trek Nemesis, and we know we'll meet Riker, Troy, and 7 of 9 in later episodes. But it's the new cast that really shines, and I loved all of them from their very first scenes. The show gives each new character a distinctive introduction, especially Daj, although her role is actually too spoilery to discuss here. Harry Treadaway, who you may know from Penny Dreadful, plays the Romulan agent Narak. His performance is wry, mysterious, sexy, and it leans into the theatrical espionage that made old-school Romulan stories so fun. Episode 1 sags under some of the clunky exposition you'd expect from a story with 20 years of prologue, but the emotional arcs are immediately compelling, building on cleverly chosen ideas from earlier canon. By episode 2 I was hooked. Patrick Stewart's passionate, layered performance is the cornerstone, staying true to Picard's values while taking him in bold new directions. After all, this is hardly the first time a Star Trek hero has rebelled against Starfleet. It may be a utopian future, but it's never been a perfect one. And don't worry, Star Trek Picard still finds time to be funny. Star Trek Picard premieres on January 23rd, 2020 on CBS All Access. This video is not sponsored in any way by CBS, but if you sign up for a 1-week free trial of CBS All Access using the link in the description of this video, we may receive a small commission that helps us fund more streaming guides and reviews like this in the future. If you're still not sure what to marathon tonight, check out our other streaming guides linked here for our favourite movies, shows and original series and documentaries available right now. And be sure to subscribe to The Daily Dot for more guides in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.